Before us, a sprawling city at night stretching far into the horizon. A city like yours, where people live and work and dream of the future. Here in this melting pot of mixed emotions and fears, a war takes place every moment of the day and night. A war between the criminal and law enforcer. A desperate struggle to maintain peace during the growing years. A war that starts with a crime and begins with an arrest. The struggle continues with no end in sight. A crime is reported, and if possible, an arrest is made. And with the sound of handcuffs clicking, we know the more difficult battle will soon begin at police station.
Okay. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Pat, they just brought in that Janet Miller dame.
Where is she?
The matron's checking her out. She's loaded. Looks like she's been on it for a week straight.
Well, tell the matron to bring her into my desk as soon as she's been checked out, will you?
Right.
I sure guessed wrong about you, didn't I, Janet?
I'm sorry.
You're sorry. How do you think I feel? I go out of my way to give you a break, and boom, 3 weeks later, you're back here on the same charge.
I can't help it. I try. Oh, how hard I try. But I just can't make it.
Where did you have the kids this time?
At my mother's home.
And your husband?
I don't know. He ran out of the house yesterday morning, and I haven't seen him since.
Is he on it too?
No, I don't think so. He was angry at me because... You know why.
Did he get you the stuff?
Oh, no. When he found out I had some, he nearly went crazy. He started breaking things all over the house. He even begged me on his hands and knees to give it to him so he could flush it away.
And you refused?
Yes. He hit me more than once, and I cried. He ran out of the house.
Where'd you get the money to buy the stuff, Janet?
I borrowed it.
You stole it, didn't you?
No.
Now, don't lie to me, Janet. I won't take that, not again.
What do you expect me to do, admit it? I'm in enough trouble now.
Come on.
Where to?
Sergeant White, I'm gonna book you this time.
It figures.
Look, I'm not kidding. I'd like to help you, but I'd rather be a live coward than a dead hero.
You've been seeing too many movies, haven't you, Rudy? Look, you work with us and I guarantee you nothing wrong will happen to you.
Yeah, sure, like that joke about the parachute. If it don't work, you get your money back. I'm not buying any, not this trip.
Just when did you meet these hoods, Rudy?
You're just wasting your time.
Really? Well, we'll see.
I can't say anything, Mr. Green. I can't. If I do, my kids, they said that I can't.
There's something I gotta tell you, Janet.
What's that?
If you don't cooperate, I'm gonna throw the book at you, and I mean it. Now tell me, who's feeding you?
You fool, don't you think I'd do anything to make it easier on me? But I don't dare.
Sarge, here's the report from Green regarding the Miller girl.
Well, she started to come apart yet?
No, she hasn't, but she will be soon. Green is pressing her pretty hard. Also, that Devlin kid is pretty tight-lipped. It's always like this. When it rains, it pours.
All right, let's go. That's it.
All right, Chuck, what's all this about?
This brute had no right to arrest me.
I'm sorry, Mr. Whitner, but the parents of the boys preferred charges. I had no choice.
But you know it isn't fair.
Will you please explain what this is all about?
All right, here it is, Sarge. Herman Whitner, age 41, arrested assault and battery violation of Code 110. The incident taking place on Crescent Street. Mr. Whitner attacked 3 boys, Charles Cunning, age 12, Paul Cunning, age 14, and Winslow Carpenter, age 15. 2 of the boys, the Cunnings brothers, ran away when the police arrived, and the Carpenter kid was taken to the emergency hospital with lacerations. Seems Mr. Whitner bit him several times on the arms and legs.
Bit him, a 15-year-old boy?
Well, maybe I'd better explain, Sergeant. This 15-year-old boy is a good head taller than Mr. Whitner and outweighs him 30 pounds.
You had no right to arrest me. I was only protecting myself.
Well, Sergeant, it seems that on several occasions these same boys have beaten up Mr. Whitner. And several people have testified that Mr. Whitner is telling the truth. However, the parents of the boys have repudiated the claim and have pressed charges on the incident that occurred this evening.
Well, who's arranged to bring up the principals involved down at the station house?
Well, car 19, Wilson and Benton are rounding up the boys. Parents will be here shortly. Also, the witnesses who claim Mr. Whitner is telling the truth, that the boys have really annoyed this man on several occasions.
Annoying me. They have the devil in them, these sadists. They only know how to insult and degrade and bully. And their parents are no better. They are a typical example of American parents who do not know what the word discipline means.
Chuck, it'll be a lot easier if you take Mr. Whitner into the squad room and get the rest of the details there.
Oh, I agree, Sergeant.
Right.
This is so degrading.
That way, Mr. Whitner.
What's he been arrested for?
What?
What's he been arrested for?
I don't know. And what's more, it doesn't matter. Now, I'm getting a little sick of your playing cute with me, Rudy. You start leveling with me, or I'm going to start closing in on you.
What are you gonna do, beat me with a rubber hose or tear my fingernails out one at a time? Look, both of us know that if I don't want to talk, there's nothing you can do.
Hodges.
Yes, Sam?
Check R&I, will you? I want to know every violation that Rudy Devlin is guilty of, from parking tickets to any arrest. I don't care how minor.
What are you doing that for?
Look, I'm going to start closing in on you, Rudy. And if I'm any judge of character, somewhere in your sordid background will be something, some violation that will give me an edge to work on. Now, isn't that so, Rudy?
I'm clean.
Really? Well, we'll just wait and see, shall we, Rudy?
Now, Janet, don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. They won't dare touch your children. They know better. He's just trying to get away with it by having you be the fall guy. Now, look. I can keep your children from those lice, but I can't protect their mother from a 5 to 10 year sentence unless she works with us.
Now, come on, Janet, tell me, who's feeding you?
I'd never seen him before.
Where'd you meet him?
I was walking past the picture house on my block. I guess he must have known me from somewhere. I don't know where. He was a stranger to me. I guess he saw I needed some, and he approached me. He sold it at a low price. He was trying to help.
What did he look like? Describe him.
Young, about 30, tall, dark. He had a mole on his right cheek. As I said, I'd never seen him before or since.
If you look through our gallery, do you think you'd recognize him?
I don't know. I'll try. But it was rather dark there, and I'm not exactly sure of what he looks like. But I'll try.
You're lying to me, Janet, and we both know it. Now stop making up fairy tales and tell me who fed you this stuff.
I can't say! I can't say!
Well, now, please understand, I realize you have a definite viewpoint that may very well be justified. But I must have all the facts so that I can give them to the judge that he may make the proper decisions.
Then, of course, I will get my chance to speak up and to tell what is true.
Of course. Tell me, have you ever been in trouble with the police since you've been in the United States?
Never. As God is my judge. Never. Since I arrived in this country, I don't think I have spoken 3 words to a policeman. Until tonight. You can check this easily enough.
I believe you, Mr. Whitner. Now, you intend to press charges against these other parties, don't you?
I don't know. I'm not sure what is right.
Well, now, if you'll explain it to me in detail, I'll help you.
Detective, I came to this country 2 years ago. And it has taken me quite some time to learn your language good enough to talk to everyone. I moved to the city here just 6 months ago because an uncle of mine had a good job waiting for me.
Go on.
When I moved to this neighborhood, I didn't know that they have 12 and 14-year-old gangsters and bums. From practically the first day I lived here, they started to ridicule me and my clothes and my personal appearance. Every night when I would come home from work, they would be shouting nasty things at me, and I would listen to them, and I would tell myself, they will stop soon. They are too young to know what they are saying.
Now, Mr. Whitner, you said before they went so far as to strike you.
Yes. It was on a Sunday morning, and I was on my way to church when they made insulting remarks. This time, I felt I must say something, and I did. It was then the big boy carpenter struck me in the face with his fist. I didn't expect the blow, and before I knew it, the 3 of them were beating me up. If my next-door neighbor wouldn't have shouted for the police, I don't know, they might have killed me.
And tell me, what took place tonight?
When I came home, they were again in front of my apartment house. I approached them before they could start any trouble, and I warned them that I would not stand for any further abuse.
What did they do?
They laughed, and they started toward me.
Go on.
I struck one with my fist, and I could see the blood splurt out. The big one, Carpenter, caught me from behind, and we fell to the street. It was then that I bit him. I didn't want to do it, but he was stronger than I. And if someone is stronger, even if so young, you don't think of good manners. A moment later, the police car showed up, and they found the carpenter boy and me fighting. What will happen now, Detective?
You know, I'm not sure. We've had reports about those juvenile delinquents in your neighborhood, Mr. Whitner. But believe me, I never knew we had a bunch of sadists around the corner.
You believe me?
I do, and I'm sorry, Mr. Whitner. But I want you to realize that most American kids are very conscious of fair play and what it means. Now, if your friends who saw these incidents will testify on your behalf, we can press charges against those kids and hold their parents responsible for what goes on.
I don't like to cause any trouble. I don't think...
Mr. Whitner, would you prefer charges against these people and put an end to these incidents? Believe me, you'll be doing a favor to yourself as well as to your neighbors.
What are you smiling at?
Rudy, I didn't think I'd have such good luck.
Go ahead, out with it. No sense dragging it out.
17 parking violations, and you haven't taken care of one.
I knew I should have paid those mothers. I knew it.
Now, do you have any idea of what the judge could do to you for such forgetfulness?
Go ahead, torture me.
Well, I'd say conservatively $1,000 and maybe 6 months in jail.
I knew I should have
That is. If the judge were told that you weren't a very cooperative citizen. Now, you've read what they've been doing to people who've been accumulating large numbers of tickets and just ignoring them.
I knew I should have paid him. I knew it.
Now, Rudy, just who held up the Golden Key Club?
You really want to know?
Yes, I really want to know.
Right now?
Now.
Well, I'm not positive, mind you. But I think it was Tony Embers and Bill Tracy. I know them from seeing them a lot around the Kitten Cat Club. And my own mother told me to stay home last night. She's always right, that lady, always right.
Keep talking, Rudolph.
Well, I knew it was them because...
How many fools are there like me? How many desperate, stupid fools with nowhere to go, nowhere to turn?
Stop feeling sorry for yourself, Janet. You made your own bed.
Why shouldn't I feel sorry for myself? In this rotten world, who's going to feel sorry for me? Who can help me if I can't help myself?
I can help you, and the doctors can help you, and with their help, you can help yourself.
You tell me anything just to find out who it is.
No, I wouldn't, Janet. All I want is a scum that pushes the stuff. Now, I don't have to lie to you. I've told you the truth. We can help you.
How can I believe anyone when I'm like this? I don't know what to believe.
Janet, if you were my own daughter, I wouldn't tell you different. Now, you've got to talk or the judge is going to crucify you. We're in a war, Janet. And every time one of you addicts clams up, we lose a battle. Now, I want you to tell me who's feeding you, and I'll help you, I promise you. Now, what about your children, Janet? Do you want them to spend the best part of the next 10 years without a mother? You're not protecting your children, you're smothering them. Now, tell me, Janet, who's feeding you who?
You don't care what you say, do you? My kids are just an angle, do you? You want to win a medal, that's all.
What I want is a scum who's feeding you the stuff. Now, you give him to me and I'll protect you and you'll never regret it, I'll promise you.
Patty Simmons.
I just... Yes, Pat? The source is Patty Simmons. Get him in here on a 4-4.
Right.
You have been in Precinct 11, Police Station. The cases have been real, taken from actual incidents. And now, the results of those cases reenacted on tonight's Police Station.
The case of Rudy Devlin, held as a material witness in the Golden Key nightclub robbery. Thanks to the cooperation of this witness, the two criminals were apprehended, convicted, and imprisoned at State Penitentiary. Mr. Devlin appeared before Judge Barrett in traffic court to face charges for 17 traffic violations. He was fined $200 and given a 30-day suspended sentence. The case of Herman Whitner. The charges against Mr. Whitner were dropped following a hearing before Judge Adams. Charges were then placed against the Cunning brothers and Carpenter. And all three boys were put on probation by the juvenile court for a period of 1 year. The case of Janet Mitchell. With the young mother's cooperation, Patty Simmons, dope pusher, was apprehended and will shortly be placed on trial. Miss Mitchell was sentenced to 1 year suspended sentence and is now under the care of a state-appointed physician for the purpose of preventing continued addiction.